It's Portland Bulldogs boys basketball on WPPS TV3. Brought to you by the Portland Public Schools. Promise, prepared, and empowered. Now we send you to the broadcast booth with Steve Schwartz and Frank Myatt. Good evening, it's December 15th, 2017, and we're here at the Portland Expo for tonight's exciting boys varsity basketball action between the Vikings of Oxford Hills and your Portland Bulldogs. The Bulldogs come into tonight's game 2-0. Oxford Hills is 0-1. They lost a hard one against Edward Little, but they came on strong at the end. They don't have a Fleming this year. Matt Fleming transferred to Bangor. What they do have, however, is Colton Carson, who led Oxford Hills in their first game with 21 points and 14 rebounds. And they have number 20, Chris St. Pierre, who sparked that surge in the second half by nailing 3 three-pointers in a row, and he finished with 16 points. Tonight, we're joined by Joe Johnson, former assistant coach, played for Coach Joe Russo. Joe, the Bulldogs are basically taking up where they left off last year.
Yeah, they're off to a good start. I mean, picking up full court, moving the ball on offense. Number 4 is the best player in the 4 most nights, and if not every night. Coach Russo knows what his goal is. Back-to-back state championships. He'd love to be to win his third one.
Well, and right you are, as Teron Moss has 33.5 points on average this year, 40 in the first game against Noble, 27 in the last game against Wyndham. He's not the only player in town, though, and watch out for Griffin Foley and others as well. But we'll bring you all of the action in just a moment.
A senior co-captain, Griffin Foley. Number 23, 6'5", a junior, Colton Carson. Number 23, 6'5", a junior, Trey Baloo. That guy, who watches number 4, 5'10", junior, Spencer Strong. Portland, number 12, 5'9", senior, co-captain, Maine, Hugo. And the other starting guys, and number 4, 5'11", senior co-captain Teron Moss. Head coaches are Scott Crawford from Oxford Hills, Joe Russo from Portland High School. The officials for tonight's game are Mike McGinnis and Dan Boomhauer, our certified athletic trainer Ryan Lucas. And now would everybody please stand for our national anthem.
So, folks, we're going to have Colton Carson and Trey Baloo at center court. Portland wins the tip. It goes to Pedro Fonseca. Teron Moss in the corner to Yugu. Yugu fakes up. Cross court to Griffin Foley. Here's Fonseca. Stops at the foul line and hits. Portland strikes first. Spencer Strong now, the ball handler. 23 is Colton Carson. Around the horn here. Strong drives. Oop, looked like a little bit of steps there, but no call. It's a nifty pass underneath, but back out again. And St. Pierre thinks better of the three. Instead, he gets it inside to Carson, who stops and hits. 2-2 is the score. A minute into the game. Teron Moss. Spencer Strong is a tall order guarding him tonight. Fonseca dribbles through, and 3 points for Teron Moss. His first points of the game. It's 5-2, Bulldogs in front. It's a nice drive, but Fonseca a little too far for Griffin Foley. Be the first Portland turnover and the first turnover of the game. Again, no steps called, and instead driving through will be Carson for 2. 5-4, a 1-point Portland lead. 6:13 left in the first quarter. You go in the paint, out of the paint. Fonseca stops. Banks it, doesn't fall. The rebound will come to Carson. Outlet to St. Pierre. Quickly up the court. And a nice effort by number 31, Atreyu Keniston. Some of these names will be familiar from last year's games against Oxford Hills. No Fleming on the team this year, as we've noted. For 3, Griffin Foley. Foley hits. Nothing doing, and it's off. Going to be off of Teron. And Teron from behind knocks it out. It'll be Oxford Hills ball again as Spencer Strong will try to inbound it here. Round the horn. First foul of the evening. Beyond Ballou, shooting 2 will be Keniston. And with that, he makes it 8-5 as he sinks the first from the charity stripe. Ben Fisher now checks in for the Dogs. Ballou will take a seat. Well, just like that, just like the last game, Joe Russo puts someone in who makes a play. Dribbling through traffic is Moss. He floats it home for his 5th point. It's 10-5. Just under 5 minutes left here in the first quarter at the Expo. Not a very big crowd tonight. Oh, Fonseca rejects. But Keniston says, not quite yet. It's a 3-point Dogs lead, 10-7. Oh, Fonseca, that's going to be a turnover. The Dogs uncharacteristically with 3 turnovers to Oxford Hills none early in the going here. And again, that's nice effort by 23, Carson keeps the ball. Whoop. Again, possible steps in the middle. It's a slippery floor. Now that's thrown up hard, but it's rebounded by Fonseca for his 3rd rebound of the game. 3:33 left in the first quarter. The score is 10-7. Dogs in front of the Vikings. That doesn't hit for Foley. He follows, but Jack Luxa with the ball. From way downtown. And the 3 is hit by Strong, and it's a 10-10 tie game right now. Chadbourne set to check in for the Dogs. And we're going to have a foul. I think we'll see if it's on Fonseca. Or it's... excuse me, it's on Strong.
Ben Fisher at the line.
It was on number 4, the other 4. Ben Fisher at the charity stripe. Hits the first one. Some wholesale changes here for the Dogs. Joined by Joe Johnson now. It's as Fisher hits both from the stripe. 12-10 is the score. Joe, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Joe, a venerable coach in years past for the Dogs. That's the 6th point for Carson. It's a 12-12 score. From way downtown, Chadbourne takes the shot. It's going to be rebounded by Will Dietrich, who's checked in for the Vikings. And it's a turnover. So a nice defense, and it'll be Dogs ball. Joe, I'm not sure that we would have expected to see the Bulldogs in a tie score with Oxford Hills, especially, when there's no Fleming on the floor here for the first time in years.
Correct. Yeah, Fleming's family has moved to Bangor, correct, and he is now playing for the Bangor Rams. So it was obviously a big loss for Oxford Hills this year.
Now that was a great play by Trey Ballou, and it was good to see him come in and with authority and really go in there with some oomph. Here's a turnover. You go with a nice move. Nice feed to Griffin Foley and in. So 16-12 is the score. It's a 4-point Dogs lead. Number 5 is Garrett Record. That doesn't fall. Yugu. And we'll keep going. And we're going to have a foul.
Number 5, Garrett Record, his first.
He reached in. 16-12 is the score. So Portland with its typical man D. And what are we seeing from Oxford Hills? Sometimes it looks like a 2-3. And
well, no, they're playing
switch. Are they playing man?
Yeah, they're playing man, but they are going to switch. They're going to switch guard to guard. Coach Graffam knows they're not going to extend themselves defensively. And they're going to play them. They're going to play Paul and I inside the arc and try and limit their layups and make them shoot jump shots. They're very, very patient on the offensive end, Oxford Hills. I mean, they obviously have no shot clock. Coach Graffam teaches that in practice, and they're going to make Portland play, for a long time on the defensive end.
That's Chris St. Pierre with his first 2 of the game. You speak of Coach Scott Graffam in his 19th year at Oxford Hills. Made it to the semis last year.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to pick up. They're going to pick up on inside the arc on the most part. They're not going to extend themselves, especially when number 4 has the ball.
And we're going to have a foul, I believe, on Keniston. So Moss will be at the line shooting 2. He's been money this year so far from the line in the early going. As we said, averaging 33.5 points a game. Gets his 6th this time. Again, some wholesale changes. James Doucette checks in along with Spencer Strong for Oxford Hills.
Good time to get kids in and out at the end of the quarter.
And Will Dietrich got the rebound, and he tried to get it up, but it didn't fall. So, at the end of the first quarter, it's a 5-point Bulldogs lead, 19-14. Here we go, folks. Second quarter action. The Dogs enjoying a 19-14 lead. Number 2 is in for the Dogs, Griffin Buckley. Some nice defense. And if my statistics are accurate, without my friend Frank Maya to do all that stuff, it looks like both teams have about 5 turnovers. And again, uncharacteristic for the Dogs to have any. There's a nice feed, but we have a travel. So another Dogs turnover here. And Hunter LaBossiere and Colton Carson check in now for the Vikings. Very much free substitutions for the Vikings tonight. A little bit of depth on their bench.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful now with these guys that are in the game.
Yeah, that was a nice feed, but they couldn't finish. And here comes Buckley. He's got Moss on the left side. Oh, my goodness. Well, they're going to call it a charge. So player control foul, as they say.
Second on the team.
Not sure that he agreed with that call, but
Poland's picking up full court. They got a few more athletes on the floor. It's going to be tough for the green to put it in the basket.
Although Keniston this time around did convert. Lino Ben had a nice block. He's come into the game as well. Number 24. The first points here. Of the second quarter. Well, what do you know? If Griffin Buckley is going to hit from the corner, then we're going to have some fun this year. Moss with the rebound. Dogs quickly down. Pedro. No look pass to Ben underneath, but he is stripped. Ooh. From way downtown. 4 gets the rebound, and it's just too far in front of Lino Ben. So the Dogs a little bit anxious tonight, Joe.
Yeah, I think Tron thought he was on the football field with that one.
Well, last game, that's exactly what happened. He had a beautiful feed to Griffin Foley and Wyndham for the putback. It's 22-16, 6:04 left in the first half. So, from their backcourt, Oxford Hills takes the ball in. 22-16 is the score, the Dogs in front. Not a very big crowd tonight, Joe, we noted.
Yes, it's early in the season. Long way from Oxford Hills.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, even in the Portland side, there aren't many, but, well, that's unfortunate. A couple of offensive rebounds here for Oxford Hills, and then way downtown for St. Pierre. So the score is 22-19. It's a 3-point Portland lead. And up and in. You think that was a good non-call?
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tonight with Mr. Boomhauer and Mr. McGinnis.
2 veteran umpires.
Yes, they're going to let him play, which is fun to see.
In the corner. Another offensive rebound for the Oxford Hills Vikings, their third. And
nice take.
And the follow by Luxa. And it's 24-21, still a Portland 3-point lead as Ben Fisher and Manny Ugu set to check in. Teron Moss floats it home. He is the first player in double figures with 10. Buckley with the rebound on the right side. Moss quickly over to Griffin Foley. He's double teamed there. Moss has Ballou inside. Tries to muscle it home, but it's rebounded by Luxa.
4 minutes left in the quarter. Very important part right now for Oxford Hills. Couple possessions down right now.
Oh, Teron in and out. The rebound comes to Strong. Stops, up, forces, foul. You know, boy, lots of green shirts underneath. That just took an Oxford Hills bounce off the rim. 26-21 is the score. It's a 5-point Portland lead. 3:23 left in the first half.
I mean, you can see Oxford Hills is taking their time. They're not going to force the issue. There it is.
Goodness gracious. Carson with 2 and the follow right there by Griffin Foley. His 9th point of the game. 28-23 is the score. Carson answers. 3-point Portland lead. Buckley over to Moss.
Now Oxford Hills is in a 2-3 zone.
3 for Foley.
Coach Graffam.
That is the way to break the momentum.
Yeah.
A bit of a wild shot, but Trey Ballou is going to get called here, I believe.
Oxford Hills is giving Portland a hard time on the glass.
It's going to be on Pedro. Jacob Ajayi will be at the line shooting 2. 31-25 is the score, make it 26. Some wholesale changes for the Dogs as Quinn Clark checks in, number 10. Ben Fisher, 14. Manny Ugu, 12. For Teron and Trey and Buckley. Pedro skies up for that rebound. All the way down to Manny Ugu. Out to Clark.
Oxford Hills is back to man-to-man.
So a nice move, but no go. Keniston, again, another offensive rebound. You know that Coach Russo is going to have something to say about this in the locker room.
Yep. It may take a few minutes to come out.
Little uncharacteristic of the Dogs. Still 31-26.
Now, minute 40 left in the clock. This is where Portland frustrates teams. They could go in up 15 at any time. I mean, right now it's a 2-possession game. Very important part of the game for both teams.
Foley from downtown. record with the ball. And beyond the NBA 3 is Carson. Takes it inside now. All the way around. And St. Pierre hits 3. It's 29-31. It's a 2-point Portland lead with a minute left in the first half. Griffin Foley fought hard, but nothing doing. With a chance to tie it up or go ahead, here's Oxford Hills. In and out. Fonseca with the rebound. Hoops off his foot, but they're going to say, I think that's probably accurate. So if Oxford Hills scores, it'll be the first time this season that a team has led the Bulldogs after a quarter or tied the Bulldogs even after a quarter.
Portland High's picking up full court. 30 seconds to go.
Hugo is fouled. Strong second foul.
So a little bit of inexperience there with Oxford Hills, just getting a little too excited before the end of the half.
And we can see why.
Yeah.
They're playing toe-to-toe here tonight with the Dogs.
Yeah.
31-29 is the score with 25 seconds left here in the first half. Hugo for 3. It's going to stay Portland's ball. They'll have 14.2 seconds. Try to put one home here.
Portland wants to try to find number 4 right now. And there he is.
Stripped. Griffin Foley, 7 seconds. Oh. Keniston gets that foul. Up and in for Foley. He's got 13 points here already, folks. 4 seconds left here.
Griffin's got 13?
Griffin Foley does. Make it 14. And it doesn't fall, and the Dogs will take a 4-point lead into the locker room as the score is 33-29. So, Joe, it's halftime here, and it's a 4-point Portland lead, 33-29. Did you really expect this at the beginning?
Well, I know that Portland High has a ton of talent on that team. They've struggled tonight shooting the basketball. Oxford Hills has given them a really hard time on the glass. St. Pierre is a good player. He's a quarterback of the football team. He's made some threes tonight. They're being very patient on the offensive end, making Portland play 4 and 5, 6, 7 passes on Portland's defensive end. So, that was a very important piece of the game right at the end of the half, where Oxford Hills hung around, made some shots, and honestly kept Huron from really blowing this out.
Well, you're correct. And the big two for Oxford Hills, Colton Carson has 10 points. Chris St. Pierre has 8. They lead the Bulldogs in rebounds, as we might expect with all of those offensive boards that they had. On the other hand, Portland is still doing its thing. Griffin Foley leading the charge right now with 14 points, including 2 threes. Teron Moss right behind with 10 and 1 3. And all around, a very, very exciting game. And we're going to bring you second half action in a moment. So we're ready for second half action here. Joe Johnson and Steve Schwartz, WPPS TV3 Sports. Joe filling in tonight very ably for Frank Myatt. Joe, also a basketball coach, now even at Lyman Moore, correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I've got 2 young boys, and I do miss it. I do miss coaching with sitting next to Coach Russo and helping him out, but family first. So
no question.
I made that decision a few years ago.
Still a very welcome presence at Portland games.
Yeah, I try to help Coach out, give him some notes in the playoffs, and do as much scouting for him as I can.
That's a nice cut inside, and the basket goes to Carson. So he takes over where he left off. Quickly out to Yugu for 3, and he'll hit it. So the answer, it's 5 points in the second half here now for Manny Yugu. It's 38-31, a 7-point Portland lead. As we're just at the start of the second quarter here, and we have a turnover for Oxford Hills.
Coach Grafham didn't agree with that backcourt. I think he might be right.
And in a game like this, every possession is so important.
Yeah. Yeah, Oxford Hills is working really hard, and the margin of error is very small for them.
Tehran uncharacteristically doesn't make it, but beautiful. He leans in, he gets fouled by Strong, and he's going to go up to try to make it 3.
Yeah, the best part about his game is his ability to control his body, stay in control, and it's really hard defensively not to touch him and foul him.
We have a timeout. 6:36 left in the third quarter. It's a 9-point Portland lead, 40-31. So Tehran converts.
Pulling in 2-2-1.
Goodness. Nice play by Manny Yugu.
Coach Russo loves to go 2-3 out of bounds.
Way downtown. An NBA 3 doesn't hit, and instead we have the long lobbing pass up and in. Yugu converts. Having a great second half here, third quarter. 43-31 is the score. Everything's coming Portland's way right now. Moss up and in.
Yeah, Portland decided to go to zone 2-2-1 full court pressure this half, and it's really bothering Oxford Hills. Yeah.
Too far ahead for Foley.
Really impressed with Griff tonight. He's getting that ankle stronger, and he's starting to pick up his game a bit.
Well, it's great to see. Of course, we did the football season this year, and we saw his injury as well as Tehran's hand injury.
Yeah.
And they were certainly bothersome. If it bothered Coach Russo, he didn't say so.
Yeah.
He was really like he likes all-round athletes, and he's very calm, cool, and collected. Well, interesting.
Yeah, he was very patient during the football season. I know that.
45-33 is the score. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Again, this press.
Yeah, the best part about this pressure is they're gonna pick up full, but then they're gonna turn, chase, and trap. So you're thinking you're beating it, but you're not. And that's what Oxford Hills needs to be careful, is when they advance the basketball, they're going to have somebody coming behind them and trapping them.
So we have another timeout here on the part of Portland. So it's a 10-point Portland lead, 4:50 left in the third quarter, 45-35. So here we go after the timeout. Yugu from behind, he's blocked. Very tight defense here by Oxford Hills. Quinn Clark goes down, and he is pushed. Labossiere.
Yeah. Oxford Hills got to be careful here. Portland's opening up a little bit. Next 4:30. This third quarter is the biggest part of the game.
Way downtown, it doesn't fall. The rebound comes to Labossiere. Portland backs off a little there.
Yeah, they're back to man-to-man.
Nice hands by Quinn Clark. All-conference football. All-state soccer.
Good for him.
And
see if he can do it in hoops, too.
Here he is. Turnover. Yugu. Got Clark on the wing. Takes it himself. What an acrobatic shot from Manny Yugu, who is having a lights-out third quarter. 9 points of the 15 scored so far this quarter. New life here for Oxford Hills. Wow. 3 points for St. Pierre. His first 3 of the third quarter, and that brings him into double figures with 11. That floats off the backboard. Top of the key, nothing doing. Manny Yugu, he's got Griffin Foley. The rebound will come to Labossiere.
A long time with no fouls. We're going to find out who's in shape.
Wow, Clark to Fonseca. Fonseca gets fouled. He'll be shooting 2. St. Pierre's first foul. 47-38 is the score. Fonseca with an opportunity to put the Dogs into a double-figure lead here, with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the toughest part about defending Portland is the fact that you have Griffin in Portland, Griffin in Tehran, but then you got number 5 and number 12, okay, Pedro and Manny. I mean, what do? That's like, as an opposing coach and a team, how are you going to defend them, and who don't you cover?
Question I have for you now is Joe Russo has substituted 4 out of 5 players. Any thought on that?
Well, like I said before, there wasn't many dead balls, and they, Mr. McGinnis and Mr. Boomhauer are going to let these guys play. So, yeah, he's trying to prepare himself for the fourth quarter and make sure that he can have fresh legs.
Well, then you become a soothsayer, as you are correct. Over everything. But again, Oxford Hills in there for countless offensive rebounds. This time, though, Pedro comes up with it. I dare say he's been leading the team with rebounds, in rebounds this season.
Pedro?
Yep.
Manny Hugo returns for Portland, and Pedro Fonseca.
1:39 left here. It is an 11-point Portland lead, 49-38. Here in the third quarter at the Expo. There's Ballou, he's open and in. Nice feed by Moss. Boom, another turnover. Hugo has Chadbourne open and he decides to take it in himself. Ballou with a nice follow. No, there's an open man. And a foul on Ballou. So Ajay, excuse me, yeah, that is Ajay.
Yeah. Coach Russo's not very happy with the transition defense, so a couple kids are going to go chat.
Ben Fisher will come in. Griffin Buckley will come in. At the line to try to make it 3 will be Jacob Ajay. He doesn't, and Quinn Clark will come up with that. Buckley out.
Portland running a continuity offense, going to take their time here. Time and score situation.
Fonseca steps out. 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. 11-point Portland lead.
Oxford Hills is content. Let Portland take the last shot.
Pedro will take it for 3. It doesn't fall. The rebound will come to Ajay. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. The Dogs will take an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. So here we go with the start of the fourth quarter. Joe Johnson joining us. Steve Schwartz, Frank Healy on camera for WPPS TV3. Here from the Portland Expo.
Portland playing man-to-man. Start the quarter.
The crowd has expanded, at least on the Portland side, with a nice student section.
It has. I bet they had a hockey game next door.
That's some nifty moves by Carson.
Yeah, so 7:30 left. Oxford Hills has got it to 9 points.
The Dogs were undefeated, I believe, their first championship 3 years ago. When I say first, their first of their two-peat.
Correct. Yeah.
22-0, I believe.
That was the all-star team. Matt Talbot, Justin Zukowski, Javon.
Amir Moss, a role player on that team. Stephen Alex.
Yeah. I'm actually coaching Stevie's brother right now at Lima Moore.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that bodes well for the future of...
He's a great kid.
We hope Bulldog Athletics, but Colton Carson with 2. The first of 5 straight home games for the Bulldogs tonight.
It's a great schedule.
Ballou. His 6th point of the game, 53-44. A 9-point Bulldog lead still. Ooh, that was a walk.
Yeah, Portland's half-court pressure bothered them a little bit there.
Toronto, Boomhauer having a little discussion.
Yeah, they're going to set a ball screen here for Tehran to let him play off the ball.
Fade away and in for Yugu. No points in the first half. 11 points in the second for Manny Yugu. Fast, great athlete, forces that turnover.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they're just speeding them up. You know, Portland is dictating the pace right now. 5:30 to go.
Baloo. Yugu for three. That one doesn't fall. The rebound will come to Luxa. That's an unfortunate
tough bounce on St. Pierre there.
The second turnover there in a row, and you know, you can't make mistakes against Portland because they'll make you pay.
Yep. And that's why they're so good. They're so good off the dribble, and you know, they make a heck of a lot more layups than most teams. I mean, you got to limit their layups. They're easy buckets.
Just worrying on D. And a nice move anyway by Spencer Strong for two.
4 minutes to go. Oxford Hills is down 11. They can't sit in this half-court defense.
Well, Coach Russo asked for a timeout. It's 57-46, 4:16 left in regulation.
Anxious to see what Oxford Hills does defensively now. It looks like they're in a 2-3.
If you look behind the Portland bench, Charlie Lyle is in the house visiting.
Home on break.
I call him Dr. Lyle. Fighting for some inside position there is Ben Fisher with Treyu Keniston. Fisher cuts in.
Great no call, Boomer.
And just like that, though, turnover. For three, Tehran from the corner. It doesn't fall. He follows Ben Fisher inside, and he gets it. There you go. 59-46, 3.5 minutes left. Moss with the rebound. Fonseca up and not in, but he draws the foul.
Yeah, Mr. Bumar had to call that one after letting the last one go. Wow.
Luxa's first.
Fourth on the team.
The Dogs are up 13 with 3 to go.
Pedro makes that one. (60-46). It's a 16-point Portland lead.
Portland man-to-man extending themselves.
Pedro skies for that rebound. Yugu fakes. Fonseca fakes. Griffin Foley for three. It doesn't fall, but Fonseca The rebound, quick hands. Yugu for three. That doesn't fall, but again, the time ticks. Nice possession there, and there we go again. Another steal by Fonseca.
You can't take a break on offense with them. They just apply so much pressure wherever the ball is on the floor.
So, Chadbourne's in. From the NBA three, it doesn't hit. Doucette had that rebound, but he lost it.
Poland's going to be very patient here. Up 14 with less than 2 to go.
Can chalk up a W here for Portland at this point. There's a turnover. Record comes up with it. Way too far downtown.
Johnny Pruitt, number 14.
So Oxford Hills has some changes.
Yeah, Coach Graffin trying to get some kids some experience.
Chadbourne hits a three. He's hit one in every game so far, at least one. Minute left. And that's a nifty shot by number 11, Will Dietrich. 63-48. Here comes Buckley, and here comes Gaddis, set to check in for the Dogs.
I mean, that's the other thing about Portland is, you know, Quinn has done very well playing the point. You know, you got Teron Moss handling the basketball, and then Buckley played the point. They had 3 point guards tonight. Most teams struggle to have one that can handle it.
And Chadbourne had hit his second three. 66-48 is the score. Ooh, little force inside there, the steal by Dietrich. 7 seconds left though. So it is what it is. It's going to be a Portland victory. That will count by number 11, Will Dietrich. The Dogs are going to win 66-50. Teams shake hands, some new faces on both teams, but they've played each other tight the last few years. In playoffs, they've played each other in Augusta. We'll be back to wrap up with you in a moment. So, Joe, a resounding 66-50 win for the Bulldogs, but actually the difference in that score of 16 points doesn't really tell the whole story. Oxford Hills was in this game for the first half and much of the third quarter.
Yeah, obviously, you know, the first half was pretty tight. You know, and we talked about it during the game. The biggest difference for me was watching Oxford Hills on the glass. They were very difficult to defend and created a lot of opportunities for themselves. And we're getting a couple shots down the floor every time.
Yep. And Oxford Hills tonight was led by Colton Carson with 18 points. Chris St. Pierre also in double figures with 11. But that about did it for the Oxford Hills players. On the other hand, 3 dogs were in double figures tonight. Griffin Foley had 14, Manny Hugo had 13, and interestingly, all of Griffin's were in the first half, all of Manny's were in the second half, and then, of course, leading once again is Teron Moss with 15. It'll bring his average down a little bit, but all in all, a great all-round effort for the Bulldogs tonight. They'll head into the next few games as home games, and we'll bring them to you here on WPPS TV3. This is Steve Schwartz along with Joe Johnson tonight for Frank Myatt, Frank Healy on camera for WPPS TV3 Sports, saying so long from the Expo, where the Bulldogs are victorious 66-50 over the Oxford Hills Vikings. Good night.